Hello, it is so good to see you today. Welcome to one of our prep sessions or test sessions, I guess, for the All Day Declutter. So, this is really meant just to help you to know how you can log in, how you'll be notified of the live sessions that will be taking place on Saturday. And I'm if you can bear with me for 1 second, I'm just realizing that I'm not seeing comments on YouTube. And so we love that we can offer the option now that you can also join in via a private YouTube link. So you don't have to have Facebook or be on Facebook if you don't choose to. We love the Facebook group. There's so much valuable things that go on in there, so much good support and energy. But if that's not your thing, totally fine. Um, so I'm just going to pull up YouTube here so I can see your questions and comments on there as well. So again, I'm gonna have the All Day Declutter takes place this coming Saturday, January 13th from 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time till 4 o'clock. And then if this is your first All Day Declutter, we rotate. So it's going to start out with Cass and then Dana in storage spaces. Then I'm going to take over in the kitchen. And then we'll have a lunch hour where we just have a lot of fun. We play a game, visit, hang out, and then we get back to work. Cass will jump into the kitchen again the next hour. And then we're going to move to like a main living space. So Dana will do the next hour there, and then I'll finish up in the main living spaces for the last hour. And then we end it with a after party session too, which is a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, good. Hello, everyone on YouTube as well. Good. I'm glad I can see everything. So, what I want to do is just talk through a few things. That you might need to prepare for Saturday, and then we'll answer any questions that you have. Also, if you are watching on Facebook, I'm actually glad that someone's saying this right away. If you're having any problems, the video's lagging, it's glitchy, problems with audio, and it doesn't seem like other people are. Go completely out of Facebook, close your app, close your browser, and then come back in. And usually that takes care of any glitchy problems that you might have with it. Are the All Day Declutters watchable at a later time? Yes. Anything we do live is always available as a replay, either in the Facebook group and also archived in the course. And so you can go back and watch them at any time. And you can go back and watch previous All Day Declutters as well. Okay. Awesome. I'm just scanning the questions here real quick. It looks like we are doing well. Okay. So what you want to do before the All Day Declutter, it is imperative that you have black trash bags and donatable donation boxes. There is something about the black trash bag. This is something Dana insisted on kind of early on. She was like, you got to have black trash bags. And up until that point, I don't think I did. I think I just used whatever we had in the house. I don't know what the mental thing is, but when something goes in a black trash bag, it's like it no longer exists. It's done. You don't have to think about it anymore. You don't have to debate over it anymore. You made a good decision. It went in. Your family members aren't going to second guess it. I mean, unless they're like real dedicated, right? There is something so powerful about the black trash bag. So please, before Saturday, grab a box of black trash bags if you don't have any at home. Also, hopefully you've been storing up like Amazon boxes or over delivery boxes, so you'll have those handy. You can use like for clothing donations, they can go into white trash bags. We like to kind of distinguish that. I mean, whatever you have, just make sure it's labeled. Those can go into bags. You can use brown paper bags if that's what you have. Like, I don't want the receptacle for the donations to hang you up. But having that stuff on hand, it has to be just as easy to put something into one of those containers as it is to hang on to it. So make sure you have those handy. Also, a lot of people find that it's helpful to have some kind of wireless like earbuds so that you're not tied to your device. So if you want to move around, bring something to another room, you don't have to worry about it. Again, we talked about this on our live last week, but I know sometimes some of you that don't want to miss a word of what we're saying, you've said like you kind of get caught like watching and listening instead of working, because you're just like you don't want to miss something that we're saying. I can almost guarantee you that nothing we say is going to be new information on this All Day Declutter. We're really going to be reinforcing the decluttering steps, giving you permission telling you why it's okay to let go of certain things. And so none of it is really new information. It's really just meant to guide you as you work on decluttering. And so really work to keep working on decluttering and not stopping and listening if you're able to. Now, some of us have energy and physical limitations, and sometimes you just got to stop and take a break. There is wisdom in that, and please do that. And so then if you stop after you've worked for a little bit and you're just going to watch while you take a break, totally respect that. That's a great game plan. But if you have the energy to keep going, keep working on decluttering. You can always go back and watch the replay if you feel like there was something that was really important that was said. But mostly, if you can have some wireless earbuds, that can be helpful. You can get them pretty inexpensively now. It's not a must have, but many have found that helpful. Also, be working from now until Saturday to keep your spaces, your main spaces tidied up. So do the dishes each night, pick up the kitchen. It still amazes me how sometimes when I go to declutter, but like the kitchen's a mess, I still feel that like conflict of like, well, maybe I should be spending time cleaning and not decluttering right now. But really, we just have to focus on getting stuff out right now. And that's going to make the cleaning easier down the road. So if you can keep the house tidied up, have your family help maybe on Friday or Saturday morning before we get started, I really feel like mentally, again, that can make a difference. Let's see. Is it better to listen via Facebook or the YouTube link? I don't know. In some ways, I think YouTube is a little easier because sometimes Facebook can be a little weird. For some of you, you've had the experience that it doesn't show up right away. It's not always right at the top. Sometimes you get into it and then it links to a different hour that you weren't intending on. So I think there's less guesswork with the YouTube links, and you'll get an email with all the links before the All Day Declutter. And then they are also going to be linked within the events in Facebook. So we're trying to make it very easy to find where you need to be. So if you have had issues with Facebook in the past, you might want to just use the YouTube links. Both operate very similarly. We can see your questions and your remarks. And do know that we're going to do our best for the first half hour of each hour to not really look at the questions. Like that is really, we're trying to guide you through decluttering, give you specific tactics for the space we're in. And then we try to set aside the last 15 minutes because each hour we work for 45 minutes and then we give you a 15-minute break. And so we will do questions, from like 8:30 to 8:45, the 30 to 45 of each hour. So don't worry about posting questions during that first half hour. Like really try to be working alongside of us. But whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, we will be able to see your questions and your comments. My mantra is ruthless with kindness. I like that. That's nice. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think what else. So, if you know yourself and you have a lot of decluttering energy and bandwidth, I do think it's a great idea to find ways to occupy kids for the day, whether it's taking them somewhere else, having your spouse take them somewhere else, or just putting on a show. Like honestly, I let my kids watch a lot of TV that year that I was working on decluttering. I believed that in the end it would pay off. And so I was like, well, if you need to watch TV, all day on Saturday so that I can participate this and get it done. Now, I do understand there's sometimes consequences to that and they can get real crabby, like when they've watched too much TV and whatnot. It was a calculated decision, right? So what do we need to do to occupy them, have some special treats for them, whatever. But I do think it is worth hiring a babysitter, taking them to a family member's house so that you can really focus and not having the distraction of being interrupted or having somebody question the decisions that you're making. If you choose YouTube, it looks like you have to set up an account with a password. I don't believe that to be true. Has anyone else had that experience? And no, we don't have any printables for this time around for the all day declutter. I think all the printables in the course are sufficient if you do want to look through those and pick out ones that apply, but we don't this time around. I just don't think that's true that you have to have an account with a password. But if I am incorrect, please let me know so we can be advising you properly. How do we ask questions on YouTube? Same way you ask here. You just put it in the comments. Yep. Like I'm seeing Robin on YouTube right now. What are some ways that you can avoid decision fatigue when getting rid of things? And so that's where I think it is really wise to like what we talked about on Thursday with Dana and Cass and I was to it's okay to skip over things if you're especially I mean we're studying out in storage spaces we don't we just want to work on moving stuff out. That's what we talked about. Like that is our goal for this all day declutter, moving stuff out. And so we're going to skip over something that might feel like a hard decision or I just don't know. So we're just going to work on removing garbage, trash, broken things, worn out things, things not worth donating, and then obvious donations. Like, yeah, I clearly don't need this. I was just with a homeschool group last night and we were talking about China, and this gal's like, I have 8 sets all boxed up. And I'm like, well, that's nice because you can bring them to the donation center and they're already packaged. Like you don't have to worry about wrapping things or anything, right? Obvious donations, things you're clearly not using. So if we even just spend the whole day working on those 2 categories, for most of us, that is going to move a lot of volume out of our house. So if there are things that are hard that you're feeling like you're getting hung up, skip over it, set it aside, move it aside, go on to the next thing. Um, and then keep working through the other stuff. Let's see. This is my first all day declutter. Is it best just to pick one room at a time to focus on or multiple? It's so hard to know your unique situation. And so I think you got to know what's best for yourself. Would it be best to track along with us throughout the day from storage spaces to kitchen? Or would it be better just to stay parked in your kitchen or your living space or one of your kids' bedrooms that you really want to get decluttered? So it kind of depends. But do know that a lot of the decluttering things we're talking about really do apply to any space. So I don't think you can make a wrong decision. So please don't worry about that. Yeah, storage space like garage, way too cold. Yeah, we're not asking for anyone to get hypothermia. I don't know. Here in Minnesota, like we're finally getting really cold temps. Like it's only like -15 overnight on Friday night. So no, like be reasonable. Like I would not go work in our garage right now, right? So, but most of us have plenty of other like catch-all rooms or catch-all spaces we could work on. Um, so on the all day, do we follow you to each room you're working on? So again, you pick, you decide. Where do I find the YouTube link? So you should have received an email from support@takeyourhouseback.com. But if you did not, please don't overwhelm Jackie with emails right now. Just go to Facebook to the events and you will see the event for today and the link was in there. And each hour of the All Day Declutter has an event created for it, and the link is in there. So you can search support@takeyourhouseback.com and look for that email. But please do not email right now if you've just realized you're not receiving the emails from us because you don't need them to be successful. And we're like, it's been pretty overwhelmed with emails with just trying to get people renewed and into the right place. So we would be happy to problem solve that with you after the All Day Declutter to figure out why you're not getting the emails. We can work on that. But if you get the emails, great. The links are in there. If not, just go to Facebook, and in the events is a YouTube link for each of the days this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that we're doing for these practice sessions, and for each of the hours for. If they're not there right there, they'll be there by the time we start the all day declutter. Like I need to go in and schedule mine, get those to Jackie. So I'll do that today though. So they're coming if they're not there right now. Okay. So Jewel says, first timer, do you ladies basically explain what I should do at the top of the house, or is it just body doubling and doing my own thing? So good question. So we will walk you through things to look for, different things that are typical to the space that you're free to let go of. But ultimately, yes, you just kind of pick the things that you're needing to move out. So it's both. It's instructional and it's body doubling depending on your specific space. So, yes, again, if you want to work all day in one space, please do. You make the game plan based on where you're at in your decluttering journey and what is most going to benefit your house on Saturday. Okay, good question. Any advice on decluttering in a space where you can barely move? Yes. Okay. I literally just talked about this in our mentorship group this morning. So, if you're like, I can't even walk into my extra bedroom, you are going to start right there. And so we're just like, again, you don't have to make any hard decisions because that's the fear and that's why you haven't been working on it. So you're going to just stand at the doorway, you're going to look at your feet and be like, okay, is there any trash? Any garbage? I don't know. Do you call it trash or garbage? I think we call it garbage, but I started calling it trash because of Dana. I don't know. Is there anything that can be thrown away and put into my black trash bag? Are there any obvious donations? Or are there any things like the Christmas wreath got set here, but it just didn't get to going to where it needs to go. So there's clearly some things that are just not where they need to be. And if we will just focus on those three things, again, no hard decisions have been made, and just work to clear up a little room, where we have room to work now, it's going to get you into it, get the ball rolling, and demystify this space because we have built it up to be really scary. But it's going to help us. And we have to, if you have a room that is just like full, stacked to the ceiling, we have to go in that with the mindset like this stuff, like there's just stuff that has to go. So, I'm going to look at, like, I just have to be really honest with myself of, okay, what in here just is very obviously, there's too much, there's more stuff than hours in the day that just has to go. And kind of go in with that mindset of like, okay, like there are donations in here. I just have to get in there and find them. Oh, you think you might need a YouTube account to be able to comment. That could be a possibility. So, again, that's why we're doing these lives here today, Thursday, Friday, so you can test all of these things out. So, thank you for that. I allowed StreamYard to show my profile, but still show up as Facebook users. I don't know. I don't know why it works for some and why it doesn't for some. I'm sorry, because I love seeing your profile pictures and your names too. I don't know. We've tried to troubleshoot that, and I don't know why that happens. How do you get over letting go of stuff when it is good quality stuff and won't be able to buy it again if needed at a later day? you know, there's so many things I want to say around this. Um, so Cass did a really awesome YouTube video on scarcity mindset a couple weeks ago, and we should link to that, Jackie. It was so good, because most of us have put us in a scarcity position because of things we've spent money on and trying to get things for just in case and someday. And so we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner, because what Cass I'm trying to push this all off onto Cass now. Kind of what the case she was making is that if I would not have stocked up on this stuff, I could have the money, and then I would have the money to be able to purchase the thing I need when I need it. And so this idea now we have to work backwards and say, okay, I didn't do that. I bought this stuff and I might, maybe, possibly could use it in the future. And so the problem is, though, most of us don't have the bandwidth to manage all of this stuff and to keep it organized so that when the day comes, when we need it, we will be able to find it and use it. And we just end up continuing this crazy cycle. So there is a point where we have to say, I kind of messed up here. I kind of bought stuff instead of saving the money. And now what do I do? And so keep the things that for sure you are going to use. But if you don't know for sure that you're going to use it, and maybe it's a craft item or something that, if you have extra food and you want to keep that for an emergency thing, if like our food supplies would get cut off, then yes, that makes sense. But extra craft supplies, extra clothing, extra stuff like that, office supplies, where you're like, well, I might not be able to have to live with that discomfort, because none of it is life or death. Like, none of it's essential for surviving. And we know that we have to get our inventory pared down. It is hurting our mental health. It is making it so we can't find stuff when we need it. We're rebuying things all the time. We're not at peace in our home. It's causing us to continue to buy things just to feel better. There's just so many ways that it's working against us. So we do end up at some point having to cut our losses and say, there is the chance that I will need this in the future and that I won't have the funds to buy it, but I need to get out of this scarcity loop cycle and get back on top. And I'm probably going to realize that I won't need the thing, and I'm not going to miss it once it's gone. No, do not do the $199 per month. That's joining is not the thing to do. So please don't do that. YouTube has asked me to set up a channel of my own. So I think when you go to actually create a YouTube account, it looks like you're creating a channel, but that's just actually you creating your YouTube account. It doesn't mean you have to like upload videos or anything. So correct me if I am wrong with that. How would you recommend doing the all day declutter if you're in a different time zone? It starts at 1 a.m. Australian time. Great question. So, if you would be coming in midday, just jump in wherever we're at and then go back and watch the replays of the first hours. If you're totally missing the whole thing, then I would start at the top and then go through it. But if you can catch us live for any part of the day, I think that's always preferred, but not necessary. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to figure out a few more details on YouTube here for I just kind of assumed you all had YouTube accounts because that's where you watch us all, all the time, right? I did not know there would be any confusion with this. So yes, Jackie is wonderful. Absolutely. Appreciate the support and love the all day declutters. Awesome. Okay, garbage in Minnesota, right? Hot dish, pop, and long O's, right? When working on toys, kids' rooms, do you include the children? Nope. And you don't have to. Kim John Payne, what is his name? It always sounds wrong when I say it. God, do I have the book in here? No, I brought it in the house. He says you do not have to involve your kids. Just box the stuff up, set it aside. If they want to ask for something by name, go get it back out of the box for them. Unless your kids are really helpful, but otherwise, don't include them. Most of the time, they're just going to derail us. You know your kids and you know what they play with and what they don't. Yes, the mentorship group is different from the course. That's just something I host on my own for it's $15 a month and it's just a little different. We can put a link with details. Yeah, someone is saying just follow the link. So there's that. I don't know. We'll get this hammered out before tomorrow and give you more specific instructions too. Oh, I love it. And thank you. Yes, I did color my hair yesterday, so it does look a little bit darker. It always looks dark for like one or two washings, and then it just goes back to how it was before. So, with the YouTube link, if on a device, click open app and it takes you into YouTube, then you can comment. Okay, so you might want to download the YouTube app. Everything works better in the actual app that it's designed for. Facebook works better in there. Try not to join us from a browser unless you're on a desktop, then it works fine. But on a phone, use the Facebook app or the YouTube app is usually most effective. Okay, yeah, I watch YouTube on TV for free, but realized I could not make comments through YouTube here. I can through Facebook. I do subscribe to people on YouTube. Technology, yeah. Awesome. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit helpful. But again, Kim John Payne. Thank you, Cindy. It is. I don't know why it always sounds wrong when I say it. Simplicity Parenting by Kim John Payne. Awesome book. Highly recommend it. Oh, now I just lost my train of thought. You can practice. You can also practice going back, even if you're watching a replay, to test out the YouTube links too. So test out your device, test out following the link. Try to work it out on yourself before you email Jackie, please. So we love interacting with you. The support is there for you to use, but if you can problem solve this on your own first, that would be greatly appreciated right now. And then we should have some more instructions tomorrow when Cass or Dana go live. I forget what the order is for this week. They can also help, but this is exactly why we're doing these practice sessions. So let's see. Oh, we were talking about not needing to involve our kids. Thank you so much. Yeah, you actually don't have to. It is okay for us to not involve them while we're decluttering. I know we worry about traumatizing our kids, breaking trust with them, but he said, nope, like as adults, we know our kids, we know what is best for them. And right now, our kids need a peaceful space to come home to. We live in such a loud and noisy and chaotic world, and we can handle it. We can do it, but we need a peaceful home to come home and reset and recharge and unwind and to just be able to fully let out our breath, let our guard down and relax. So it's really important that we're creating that for ourselves, but also that we're creating that for our kids too. They thrive in highly simplified spaces. I'm convinced kids are minimalists at heart. So it's really a gift that we can give to them, and you're going to see too. Your kids are going to thrive in that space. So you've experienced it when you clean their room and then they love playing in it. Again, you've already gotten taste of that. Go even further, and it's magical what happens. Awesome. Okay. Yes. If you have children that have trauma, then no, that is not what I'm talking about. Like, obviously when we were going through foster care training, I would handle that completely differently. So I am talking about, more traditional household settings, where you have, good relationship with your kids, equity with them. Yes, please apply it appropriately to your own situations. Thanks for the clarification there. How old do you think children should be before we start including them? I really think it depends on the kids. Gage is 9 and he's our one that's really attached. And so even this fall, I went in with a Rubbermaid tote and just packed up a whole tote of things that I just felt he had lost interest in. And I packed it away. I did this in our mentorship group, packed it away for a month. He did not miss anything in it. And so then I went ahead and donated or threw away the things that were inside of it. So I really think it depends, but I still do work with him on things. But there are times where I'm just like, okay, the inventory has crept up. It's overwhelming for him. It's overwhelming for me. So I'm the adult. I'm just going to go in and make decisions, knowing that they weren't permanent decisions. Then I could pull stuff back out. But I think, 7, 8, 9, 10 are good times to start involving them. It doesn't mean we involve them all the time. But, at certain times before Christmas or when we go through his treasure bins, then he's definitely involved in that. So we can pick and choose. We don't want to overwhelm our kids, and they don't always understand why we're doing what we're doing. And that's okay. Lots of opportunities to continue to practice with them as they get older. Awesome. Okay. 2 questions and then we'll wind up for today. Do you give the kids a heads up that you're going to I didn't then. No. So again, know your kids. And I don't think we always have to. I have a huge paper problem. I tried to get it under control last year, but now it's a mess again. Go back the last year for the January all day declutter. Cass and I did 2 hours on paper clutter. So I would recommend going back and rewatching those sessions. We laid out a very good game plan for that. If you're decluttering a box that has wrapped breakable items, how do you declutter it without making any mess? Well, I would leave them wrapped to take to the donation center. I don't know if I'm totally following your question. Um, what? Oh, that sounds awful. Burning teddy. Oops, I missed it. I think I missed something. Yes, I do know kids have had trauma around toys getting taken away. That's really not what I'm talking about here. Just to clarify, we worked with a youth that like her Christmas presents got burned in front of her one year. I would never do this method with her. For most of us, our kids are literally drowning in toys and stuff. And we need to, as the parents, come in and rescue them from this. It is too much. And it's too much to expect them to go through it with us and to decide what to keep and what to let go. It's too much. It's too overwhelming for them. And it's usually not super productive. We need to get their spaces back to square one and then have them help us maintain it moving forward. Just my 2 cents. Okay. So, um, so any replays are in the course. If you look at the drop-down menu or the menu on the left, go down towards the bottom, and that's where all the replays of past all day declutters are. Okay. I don't know if I totally answered the question about decluttering a box that has wrapped breakable items. How do you declutter it without making any mess? I don't know if you're thinking you have to unwrap them or I don't know. I would just donate the whole box just how it is, but I'm maybe not fully understanding your question. Awesome. Okay. Well, we are going to wind up for today. But again, we have 2 more practice sessions. So again, please try to troubleshoot on your own. Try to join in again tomorrow and Friday. And by Friday, you'll have it dialed in, right? And we'll continue working to help have all the answers to these questions as well. All right. Well, I am so excited to declutter with you on Saturday. The word is ruthless. We are just working on moving stuff out, and it is going to be so productive and so good. Okay. I love you. I hope you have a really good day, and I will see you again on Saturday.